Hey guys, how's it going? It's Andy from MagooInvesting. In today's episode of Robinhood Top Stocks, today we're going to be breaking down McDonald's, ticker symbol MCD. And so before we get started, if there is a company or a stock you'd like me to go over in a future video of this show, please leave it in the comment section down below and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Currently the one that I have planned for tomorrow is Alibaba, so that'll be in the works for tomorrow. But if there's a company you'd like me to go over, please leave it down below. And so in the past couple weeks, we've talked about Yum, which owns KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. And so we talked about that. And in that video, I mentioned you got to look at the competitors in that sector. And so in the fast food sector, you always got to look at McDonald's. They're the big boy in that sector. And today we're going to be breaking down what I see on the charts. We're going to be doing some technical analysis, seeing what I see on the charts, talk about some recent news events, and then we're going to go hop on the computer and see what the analysts have to say about the 1-year future of McDonald's. And so overall on the charts, things have been going very well for McDonald's up until about a couple months ago. The stock had steadily climbed up, and then it fell off its all-time high, and then the news that they were removing the CEO for allegations about misconduct. So stock fell after that, and it's kind of come to a nice little support area. And so there's some other news events going on right now. There's some lawsuits. There's some protests about the pay. But besides that, the stock has held pretty well at this recent support. And so when I talk about stocks that I like to take investments in, I'm looking for something that is well known, a company that I enjoy, has recently been hurt by bad earnings or bad news, and then has kind of recovered from it a little bit and is starting to push up. And so McDonald's checks all those boxes for me. So today we're going to be hopping on the computer and kind of see what I see moving forward for McDonald's. And before we hop on the computer, I got to say that I'm not a licensed financial advisor, so I'd highly recommend talking to a professional, someone that can find you the best places to put your money going forward. All right, now let's hop on the computer and talk about McDonald's, ticker symbol MCD. So here we are, another day on Robinhood. As you can see, my portfolio is up only 0.5% today. Things have been pretty slow. Twitter, as you can see, is up pretty much nothing at this point. But today we're going to be talking about McDonald's. So let's go take a look at ticker symbol MCD. And so as you can see on right here, it has a 71% buy rating, almost 21,000 people owning it on Robinhood. It's up pretty much the same amount as my portfolio is up today. 1 week, pretty flat. 1 month has fallen as we talk about the CEO being forced out. That hurt the stock a little bit. And then 3 months it's been sliding, but then 1 year is still green, and then 5 years it's up 100%. So that's awesome. So as we come down here, dividend yield of 2.36%, which is something to think about. And now here's the news stories. There's the lawsuits of harassment claims against women, so that's something to watch. But as I'll talk about in a little bit, since these news stories have come out, have not really affected the stock price that much. So I'm not super worried about that. As you can see, 71% buy rating, and recently missed earnings, which is why the stock has fallen a little bit. So here we are on the charts, kind of looking to see what we see, and this is the 10-year 1 day. As you can see, if we go back, this is where the 100% returns have come from in the past 5 years. It's down at $60 back in 2009, so very steady, pretty nice moving up. You've had some times where it's come back, consolidated, and then pushed up higher, which is what we really like. And so recently it has fallen from its all-time high of $222, and now it's sitting at $194. So actually, let's go back to the other. So this is kind of the time frame I would use for a company like McDonald's, something that doesn't move a lot and something that it would be holding for a longer time. For my more aggressive plays, like say Twitter. So for plays like this where it's more aggressive, this is when I use a 180-day chart because it's more risky, it has more volatility, so I want to kind of see what's been happening recently. But then when we go to something like McDonald's, does not move very fast, so I'm kind of more comfortable taking a long-term approach, taking a look at the stock. So that's how I drew this support right here. As you can see, it's touched over here, 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 and recently came down and has bounced off of that. So it seems like a pretty nice support, so it's something to keep in mind. And then I usually draw the top of the 52-week range as the exit point. So for a trade like this, I always think it's important to have an entry, exit, and stop loss. For something like McDonald's, where I'd be pretty comfortable holding it for a long-term play, not as important to have a stop loss. But for something like, as I mentioned recently, Twitter, it's important to have a stop loss just in case things go south. So for this type of play, I'll be looking to go from the support right here up to the 52-week high, which is around 17%, which is a very attractive play for something like McDonald's. recently it's been kind of choppy coming up and down. We have a lower high right here, which is not the biggest deal in the world, but it's something to watch. And then we have the potential of a death cross coming in soon. So that's kind of what I'm seeing originally on this chart. I do really like this price moving off of the support, which makes me feel good about it. But for a play, as I mentioned, I'd be looking to enter around the support and then exit at the 52-week high. It's very possible with a stock like McDonald's that it'll push up past the 52-week highs, but that's just kind of my price target because there's nothing above that. So that's what I'd be looking for. And now let's see what the analysts have to say. So I always take a look at the price forecast first. So as you can see, it's up 9% year to date, and it's pretty much in the middle of its 52-week range. And I've talked about this a lot on this channel, where I really do not like buying your 52-week high, even though it could be pushing up with great momentum. Once you get up towards a 52-week high, usually acts as a pretty solid resistance, and I do not like buying into resistances. So I really like the price forecast for here. As you can see, the low is still green, and then the high is up 30%, with the median right around where my price target was at 225, so around the 52-week high. So I agree with them on this one. I think it's very attractive. They have a lot of buy ratings, 0 sells, which is always good to see. But then when we come take a look at Yahoo Finance, they have it as a buy, but then they have it as up in the short term, down in the medium and long term. So I don't really agree with them on that one. From doing this series so far, I seem to have agreed with the price forecast more than I have with Yahoo Finance. But the reason I show both of them is because I think it's important to get all the information, all the opinions you can find, and not just listen to me, not just listen to some guy talking on TV, trying to see what the whole market thinks about the stock overall. So while I may think that McDonald's is bullish in the short, medium, and long term, you have to take into account that the professionals on Yahoo Finance do not see the same way. So something to think about. They have their 1-year target estimate as at the 52-week high, so I think I agree with them on that one. But just overall, just find as much information you can on the stock. If you're going to be taking a long-term position, I'd highly recommend doing some more research on what these lawsuits are going to be looking like in the next couple months and see if it'll impact the stock at all. When I've come on here and looked at the news from 11/2 or 11/12, if we come in here, let's see, what date was that? That was yesterday. And so the stock was still green, so I don't think that that news will be super important for the stock going forward. But if you're going to be holding it for a long term, it's something that I would recommend looking into further. Overall, I think McDonald's is a great place to be taking a position in the future. If I was going to be, or I'm currently making a video for my top stocks of 2020, and I think McDonald's will be making a list. And so I'm going to be breaking it down into more aggressive plays and then more conservative plays. And yesterday we talked about Boeing. That'll be kind of a medium play. And then McDonald's, I think, is a great conservative play. From where it's at right now, it has around 18% to go up until its 52-week highs. And with the price forecast being pretty even for the lower end and up around 30% for the upper end, that looks like a great place to be holding for the next couple months or even a year. So while it's not going to be making 300% like a Roku has, I still think that it's a great option for any type of portfolio out there. And so even if this support right here doesn't hold, I'd still feel pretty confident in the stock going forward. It may fall just a little bit, but I think it'll recover in the long run. McDonald's is one of those very established companies out there, and I don't see the stock falling that much further. So overall, I think it's a very nice play. I may be looking at it in the future, but right now I have pretty much all my money locked up in positions. So that's why you set alerts on the computer and you just kind of wait for something to go off and then take a look at it. While it's already sitting on support right now, if it does fall further, would be more attractive for me because then there'd be more percentage to swing compared to what it is right now. So it's always a company that I'll be keeping on my watch list. I think it's very attractive for a conservative swing trade or just a long-term position. So let me know what you think about McDonald's in the comment section down below. And as I said, if there is a company or an idea you'd like me to go over in a future video, please leave it down there as well. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.